Hi, welcome to The Way Out Tarot. This will be your timeless general reading. It's really blowing those leaves. Alright. The intention I set, what I hope and I pray for ahead of this reading are messages that you need to know whenever you come across this video. I would like to start off with some gratitude by thanking you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, and donating to the channel. Please continue to do so. I appreciate you. As you watch, I encourage you to use your intuition and your knowledge of your own experience to interpret the messages that come through. The paths that you all walk are not identical, but it is my belief that your presence here means that you and everyone else watching, and myself, that we have a shared interest in gaining insight into what's happening now and how we can better understand ourselves and our experiences to affect change in our lives. That being said, right. Queen of Pentacles as your overall. This is great. So let's talk about it. I feel that you have become, it's like you are. I hope you get what I mean when I say that. I think that you have become embodied, Taurus. Many of you, I would say, are self-actualized. You have reached a point in your career. You have reached a point in the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you your principles. You've reached a point. You have matured. And the way this energy is hitting right now is there's a lot of grace that I get from you around this time. There's a lot of grace and a lot of self-respect that I get from you. You are not it's pretty powerful. You can't be moved. You can't be moved. In Taurus, there are people that are trying to move you. There are people that are trying to get you to buy into their way of seeing things or their version of the story. So I see a lot of you around this time really standing, you're taking a position here, and you have something to defend, you have something to stand up for, and it's not your reason for fighting, your reason for putting up these boundaries. You're not doing it from an egoic place. I get that you guys are doing these things because they're the right thing to do, and this is the kind of perspective that someone who is mature adapts. That's the kind of perspective that they embody. That's what I was picking up from you guys earlier, that feeling of completion. I hope that's not too distracting. We'll let it pass. There's something here about withholding. There's something here about the release of something. There's something that has been delayed because there is the energy is here of floodgates. You know, when a dam is released and there's just this outpour of water, there is this outpour of something here. It's positive. It's positive. We're going to talk about these. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Let's talk about what's here. I know these are a lot of cards and it's a bit overwhelming, but that's a part of why I just wanted to get as many as I felt we needed to get so I could really also digest what's happening here, because this is pretty eventful, is the way I describe it. So we have the Queen of Pentacles being what I believe to be the energy that you are embodying. You are the keeper of something here. You're the keeper of something here, and I think that you share it here and there. It's like every now and then you bless someone. This could be in the form of guidance. This could be in the form of guidance, advice, direction. And I think that people seek you out for that because your perspective is one that is it's advice that's coming from a place of compassion. It's advice that's coming from a place of understanding consequences and how the way that you handle something will have an effect on other things. You understand the domino effect. And I think that many times, like Libra, that might be why you are so slow to move, slow to make decisions, slow to do certain things. It's because of the consideration, right? Now, there's a position here that you feel very strongly about, and you might be letting someone in on that, or letting someone know what you believe the right thing to do is. And we just said all that about your decision-making process, all of that positive. And the moment I got comfortable with that interpretation of it, I was just immediately reminded about the ramifications, the potential ramifications of taking a position that is unpopular, that maybe you feel is the right thing to do, but there are actually some things that are wrong with it fundamentally, ethically. So it could go a couple different ways. What you perceive to be the perfect arrangement, what you perceive to be an exercise in good judgment, could lead to it could come at the expense of someone else's happiness. It could come at the expense of someone else's ability to move forward. And I know that that's not something that you want to do. I know that's not an intention that you have. But there is a risk here of doing that. So the approach, I would say, right now is one where you've taken this position, you've definitely let your voice be known, and now you are trying to decide how you want to proceed. It's like you're coming to a few conclusions, and I think that there's a choice you have to make here, Taurus. And it's not an easy one. And if you try to talk to somebody about it and they try to simplify it, it's don't take it personally. It's just that this person is a very uncomplicated person by nature. So it's like they already know what they want to do. Now you could say that is, I'm just gonna fix the camera a bit. You could say that is the result of some kind of self-work that this person has done with the effect in mind of wanting to be more proud of the decisions that they make, so when they find themselves in challenging situations, they know how to handle them. This could be the kind of person who is giving you advice or who you may be seeking advice from. They've worked on their moral compass. Now, that all being said, what they have to say is not always, it might not always, when something is overly simplified, especially something that you feel really passionate about, it can kind of come off like they're not really considering the possibilities or considering the next steps to the degree that you are, because you are but they do, especially if this person is in Aries. Now, what I also want to talk about here that's happening that's pretty nice this month is there is some type of shift happening in your relationships where in which they start to become more rewarding. And you will find that you'll be building more of these relationships that where once maybe things were off in the give and take. Maybe you wanted different things, or your intentions were different. Doesn't always mean that that there's malice there or ill intent, but two people can want different things out of a relationship and both could be valid, but are incapable of meeting each other halfway or uniting is difficult at times because there are the amount of motivation or willingness to agree to come together, it wavers. For some of you, this is a Gemini. Doesn't have to be. Now, there are a couple things that I want to talk to you guys about that I've been picking up in your energy and I've been kind of putting it off. So we're going to talk about it now. When it comes to, with great power comes great responsibility, Taurus. With great power comes great responsibility, and that means that when you hand out directives, when you are the one that is calling the shots, you must be equally willing to take accountability for what happens next, just as you're willing to give those directions. What I think will help you is that if you're in a position where you are telling people what to do, I think that you should, before you tell someone what to do or give them directions, make sure that it's a decision that you stand by. Make sure that you're doing things for the right reason. If you never leave that space, Taurus, if you never leave that space where you're doing things for the right reason, then it will do beautiful things for your karma. It will do beautiful things for your life. What's really on display this month is that your input, what you have to say, it is so true. It's so true, and it's fueled by instinct, in the way that you instinctively know what the right thing to do is, what the right thing to say is, because you know what people need, and you know what people need to hear. So there are some conversations here there are some conversations that need to be had. There are some things that need to be said specifically by you, and you're doing that. I keep hearing much to their demise, at their own demise, at their own dismay. just because something is true, Taurus, doesn't mean that it's easy to face, that it's easy to accept. And you are going to upset some people. You've upset some people already. But are you saying these things for the right reasons? Again, we must always bring ourselves to a point where we feel comfortable enough to ask ourselves that question. Are we sure that this is the hill that we want to die on? Are we sure that this is the argument that we are willing to support? Are we sure that this is the argument that you are willing to have? Are you sure that this is the time for an argument? Some people want to argue with you, and I think that so for some of you, I think you like it. And I'm going to be real with you, I think some of you are bringing the argument to people. This Emperor Judgment here and the Three of Cups coming right after it, this looks like this reads like getting an immense amount of pleasure out of being in charge. Getting an immense amount of pleasure out of being the one who gets to choose. Being the one whose opinion matters the most. And that, I feel, is a very dangerous game to play. Because people do some really fucked up things in the name of power and in the name of keeping power and abusing their power. They forget how to love people. They forget how to care about people. They forget how to value opinions that are very useful, ideas that are smart. They get lost in what they're not getting, and what they're not getting ends up being what they desire most. I think that you should pay close attention to the people who don't value your ideas, the people who don't value your advice, who don't value your input. The people who they know that they are not happy. They know that they have a role to play in their own. They know that they have a role to play in the circumstances they're experiencing. This Lover's card is I think that someone is speaking up about their unhappiness. There is someone here that has been taken advantage of. There's something here about intellectual property. And the fact that someone has been they've been doing all of the work, but they're being or have been robbed. Doesn't necessarily have to be intellectual property. It could just be straight up property. but someone, I'm not sure who, if this is you or someone else, what they are doing or what they're deciding to do is sacrifice someone else for their own gain. I meant it when I said this reading was eventful. I know I talked about a lot of different things, and yeah, I know I talked a lot too. Actually, I think just the one is perfect. Yeah, let's get just the one. All right, let's talk about the oracles that we just got here. So the first one that came out is negotiation, and how appropriate. We got Jupiter in Libra energy. We did pick up on that Libra energy early on in the reading and talked a bit about the similarities that you have with that sign, specifically your need to, or your understanding of the domino effect and consequences, and how the fact that your decisions have consequences, we're talking about ramifications. Now, there is this weighing that's happening throughout the reading, isn't there? In the way that there is an obviously right thing to do and an obviously wrong thing to do. And I say obviously because I think that you know. But as the oracle says in the Matrix, knowing the path and walking the path are two different things. So it doesn't matter how much you know about whatever this choice is that you have to make here. It's like both decisions are equally hard for you. Both are equally different and also difficult. So that's happening this month or in the next 2 months, whenever it is that you find it. And we got the West card, Purge, coming out next. You are encouraged to walk the path of light, and this is a very beautiful reading because the cards are so clear about what they want you to do. And let me just show you here, right? So judgment is major. Good judgment, practicing good judgment here is major, and you have to do that in the face of the things that make you feel good, the things that you desire. It just gets hard at times because the things that you desire might start to bleed into and distract you from your responsibilities or the right things, the things that you the things that you know that you should be doing. And that's more or less what the Lover's card represents, isn't it? It is about the path towards the path of light and the path of darkness. There is a choice to be made. Do you obey and not eat the apple? Or do you eat the apple and bring about destruction in your life, or maybe the lives of other people, or the world? So the weight of the decision is very obvious here. And there is this element of negotiation and wanting to pick a path that is that makes everybody happy. And I just don't know that such a path exists. And we have the West card coming out here next, encouraging you to purge all things negative. It's encouraging you to walk the path of light. The West may be significant in some way, shape, or form. You could be traveling at this time or traveling soon. Leave behind whatever it is. We got another one that came out here. Is there anything in your life that you've been managing that really needs to just be resolved? So for some of you, we said earlier that you're the keeper of something. You know, you're the keeper of something, you are the holder of something. There's this energy of withholding and kind of an unwillingness to budge in some way, shape, or form. You can't be moved. And it's like your tendency to be this way, to show up this way, is preventing that situation from becoming truly resolved. It's still ongoing. So this may not be something new that you're wrestling with around this time, Taurus. This could be, yeah. Now, let's let's clarify a bit, shall we? Now, I want to talk about. Let's talk about the Seven of Wands first. So the Seven of Wands is about that thing that you're defending. That Seven of Wands is about that hill you are willing to die on. And we got the Eight of Cups in reverse and the Five of Swords. The Seven of Wands is about that thing that you refuse to walk away from. It's about that game that it's looking like here that you are choosing to continue to play. We were kind of picking up on that when we were talking about this card here and about this thing that you're keeping around or continuing to manage, and it's not really allowing the thing to be resolved. And we got the Knight of Pentacles coming out next. There you are, more or less confirming that this is your energy. And we got the King of Wands. So speaking of the fire sign, let's talk about the fire sign next. This person could be an Aries. It doesn't have to be. It could just be someone who is in a position of leadership. It could be someone who has a lot to say. This person is very, very powerful with the Magician card. I'm also getting magical. Eight of Pentacles. Things are not working. Oh, was this the Five of Swords down here? That was the Five of Wands. So, interesting, because the Five of Swords is at the bottom of the deck now. And I was talking about a game. But what this speaks more of is an old argument, an old this is something that should have been done a long time ago. Let's talk about Judgment. The Star. The right thing should have been done a long time ago. the Empress. Could be concerning someone's mom, someone's duty as a parent, someone's duty as a mother, somebody's wishes. And we got the Hanged Man in reverse and the Chariot. The broken will be made whole. The sacrificed will come alive. The dead will rise. The defeated will win. The deceivers will cry in the face of those who are upright in heart. Ace of Wands. The Leo is disappointed. Where once your future with this person or alignment with this person doesn't have to be a Leo, but just someone who is embodying that energy, right? Where once there was alignment, where once things were working, trust has been damaged. Things have taken a turn for the worst. It's really upset this water sign. Let's take a look at the King of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. For that, we got the Four of Wands and the Three of Wands. I'm hearing debt-free. Let's take a look at the Lovers next. Ten of Swords. Don't try to hide whatever this is. It's going to come out. The betrayal will be very, very public. It's going to come out. Knight of Cups in reverse. It is going to scare people away. It is going to upset people. The Lover's coming out again. Two of Pentacles. Let's take a look at the Page of Wands. I'm hearing somebody say, what do you have to say for yourself? Queen of Cups. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. There's not much that can be said when the actions speak so loudly, when the actions speak so clearly that it was all done for self-interest. The death card coming out here next, that it was all done for someone could not accept the truth. Someone cannot accept the truth. They can't accept a ruling here. They can't accept a decision. Let's take a look at the Hangman. And here it looks like it's you. You gotta ask that question. Why does it have to be this way? Why do you want it to be this way? Right? What's the reason why you're doing the thing? Okay. Someone could have blue eyes. The month of July could be important. Love. Someone may be a Libra that you're dealing with. Intimidation, major. Someone could be a Virgo. West came out again. And the letters Y and Z. It's interesting because we were saying Y all that time. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you. Oh, information is down below for more content. The Way Out podcast was launched early July, available on Spotify or Spotify and Apple Music, I should say. I recommend that you guys watch episode 1. I'll see you next time.